comic I am reviewing today is called Society of Superheroes, and it stars Dr. Fate, and you can see he is there shooting his guns at some zombies. He's like, "Oh no, stay back, you evil zombies, don't bite us." But more importantly, this comic is written by Van Morrison. Now, if you don't know who that is, Van Morrison is probably the last remaining true visionary of comic books. Everything he writes is pretty much gold. I don't understand most of it, but it is probably gold. I like this one though, because it is nice, it is simple, it is straightforward, it is just a good little action adventure story. And it starts off in New York City, which is in America. And it's told from the point of view, or POV if you want to be quick about it. It's told from the perspective of the immortal man, who is an immortal man, which means he is immortal and a man. And this big black skyscraper there, that is Dr. Fate's headquarters. And what he's done is, he has put a call out over the radio for any adventurers of special talents. And this is why the immortal man has shown up. And oh, if you look there is a very pretty woman. I tell you what, I fancy her. Then on the next page, we meet some of the other characters that have responded to the radio summons. These women here, they are called the Nighthawks, and we don't really get to see all that much of them, but they look nice. Like the redhead and the blonde, they both look very, very pretty. I think I've probably fancied these Nighthawks. Then we meet this fella. He is called The Pratt, and he is Dr. Fatus's friend, but he's also like Dr. Fatus's servant, which I like because it is just a friend helping out a friend. Whereas over at Marvel, Doctor Strange, he has a man called Wong, who is of Asian descent, who is basically just like his servant. And it's kind of like that Doctor Strange endorses slavery. We learn a little bit about these characters here, and then in comes Dr. Fate, and I really like this design. I really like this idea overall. This whole thing of him as like a pulpy action hero. I think that is good. I think they could adopt that into the main DC universe. It's that good. And here we have got, this comic is part of a thing called the Multiversity. And Multiversity, it was this thing Van Morrison did. And it was kind of like over my head because I am stupid, but it was a comic that when you read it, it's like, oh, if you turn over the next page, the protagonist, you will suffer a lot, but you're already going to turn that page, aren't you? It was kind of like a meta thing, a meta-textual thing. This is an example of that, because in the other comics, they're reading the same comic you read, and Dr. Fate is saying, oh, put that down, it is cursed, it is haunted. And then we meet the Green Lanterns, which is interesting because now Van Morrison, he is going to write the Green Lanterns comic book. And to be honest, I think it is safe to say with Bendis on Superman, with Tom King on Batman, with that Wilson one on Wonder Woman, with Kelly Sue DeConnick on Aquaman, I think it's fair to say that it pretty much falls to Van Morrison's feet to hold up the entire DC Comics line. And then we see, there's a Society of Superheroes there, the Pratt, Immortal Man, Dr. Fate, Nighthawks, and Green Lanterns. They're really cool. This is just like a one-off, but I think I would quite like to see Van Morrison do more stories with these characters. It's a good little team and stuff. It's exciting. It's fun. And then we see the baddie. This is Macho Man Vandal Savage. He is an immortal man as well, and he is coming across to Dr. Fatus's universe, and he is bringing zombies with him. And then we skip 5 years later, and the Society of Superheroes have been fighting the zombies for 5 years. we're at the point where Dr. Fate, he is trying to open up a portal so they can escape to another reality. But what happens is, well, actually, the Pratt, he has been hurt in a fight, like his face has been burnt, and he thinks that he's properly deformed and like disfigured now. But what happens is, oh, actually, here is something that I approve of, right? This is a race swap. And here we have Dr. Fate. He is usually a white man, but here he is instead, I think that the politically correct term is he is Caucasianly challenged. And I approve of this. I think it's a race swap. That's okay because, like, racial identity and ideas like that, they're not really a prominent fixture in Dr. Fate's, like, origin or his other stories. This is completely fine. Then in bursts a big advert for one of the worst superhero shows on TV, Gotham. And this shows the 8 characters in Gotham. And fittingly, it completely ignores Alfred, who is the worst character in the whole thing. But in bursts this Hulk man, and the Pratt is like, no, leave this one to me. I want to prove myself. Me face is all fucked up, but give us this chance. And then we have got this big fight between the Pratt and the Hulk. And then back to the baddies, there's Macho Man, Vandal Savage, and this woman, she's called Lady Deathstrike, and she is not very pleasant. She's like, I don't care what happens as long as I get Dr. Fate's balls to wear as earrings. That is just stupid. Why would you want to wear a pair of testicles on your ears? It's just gonna make people look at you. And to be honest, well, you're not that pretty, so you're probably wearing them to draw attention away from your ugly face. And then we've got this big fight in the plains between the Nighthawks and Lady Deathstrike. And then some more of the fight with the Pratt and the Hulk. And well, I like this bit. Dr. Fate, he is shooting at some zombies with some guns. I like giving him guns. And then this magician comes in, and Dr. Fate just kicks him in the bollocks. That bit's good. Then the Pratt, he finally manages to beat the Hulk. And look, he's like, yes, I've won. But then in comes this big yellow dinosaur. And then we get to see some more of the fight between one of the Nighthawks and Lady Deathstrike. And she throws Lady Deathstrike to some crocodiles. Meanwhile, Macho Man, Vandal Savage, he has like an ongoing rivalry with the Immortal Man because they are both immortal men. And we get back to Lady Deathstrike. She has killed the crocodiles and the Nighthawks just shoot her. And then the big dinosaur, the Green Lanterns, shows up and beats the dinosaur. And we pretty much end with the fight between Macho Man, Vandal Savage, and Immortal Man. Immortal Man manages to kill Macho Man, Vandal Savage, and it turns out that the sickness that Vandal Savage brought with him to this universe, it wasn't zombies, it was making the superheroes resort to killing the baddies. It's like it's a bit of pathos and there's a little bit of like fable to it, like, oh no. And that's pretty much the end of the comic. I really like this, so it's quite easy to say what I'm gonna rate it. It is 7 thumbs up.